Welcome back, everybody. I'm Dr. Craig Malkin. If you haven't been following me on YouTube, I'm a clinical psychologist and lecturer for Harvard Medical School. I'm also the author of Rethinking Narcissism, known as the Narcissist Test in the UK. It's devoted to helping you understand narcissism in all its forms. And it's called the Narcissist Test in the UK because I actually feature a test in my book where you can locate yourself on the narcissism spectrum. So I want to talk today about malignant narcissists because it's a term that's being used a lot. Malignant narcissist isn't a diagnosis. It's a term that was coined by a psychiatrist named Otto Kernberg, who had to flee Vienna for Chile because of the Holocaust. So he was thinking about this, and he was thinking about it on the heels of having left because of Hitler's rise to power. And I think that actually figures very strongly into his idea of malignant narcissism. So although it's not a diagnosis, and narcissist, if you've been following me, you already know is not a diagnosis. It means somebody higher in traits than the average person on narcissism. And narcissism is not a diagnosis. You really want to think of narcissism as a drive to feel exceptional, special, unique. So what is narcissistic personality disorder and what is malignant narcissism? You want to think of narcissistic personality disorder as characterized by what I call triple E, that is exploitation, using people no matter what it takes in order to feel exceptional or unique. And this doesn't have to be unique or exceptional in a positive way. There are people who are extremely narcissistic who basically pride themselves, who feel like they stand out, I should say, because they are the most misunderstood person in the room, not the smartest or most attractive. And this is one of the reasons narcissism only slightly overlaps with self-esteem. So we've got exploitation, entitlement, acting as if the world and other people owe them. And it's this third one that's important. I almost put up just two. Third one that's important, and that is empathy impairments. What we know from the research is contrary to what you might have heard. Narcissistic personality disorder, the official diagnosis of disordered narcissism, is characterized by fluctuating or impaired empathy. That is, when people are motivated enough who have narcissistic personality disorder, they can actually be a little bit empathic or maybe even a lot empathic if they're not blocked, preoccupied by their own needs, or it makes sense in the context for them to show empathy. People who are high in psychopathy, on the other hand, may not even be neurologically equipped to experience feelings and express empathy in the same way. You want to think of malignant narcissism, as described by Otto Kernberg, as a combination of narcissistic personality disorder and psychopathy, pattern of remorseless lies and manipulation, people who look at you and repeatedly tell you things that are manipulative or not true without remorse, and they don't have a conscience. As I said, I have no doubt that Otto Kernberg was thinking of Hitler when he was writing about malignant narcissism. One of the ways he described malignant narcissists is that they adopt the stance, I am everything, and you are nothing. I have everything, and you have nothing. Because they are so terrified of depending on people in any way that they have to convince themselves that people are empty. This is another reason why people who are extremely narcissistic, who tip into that area that Otto Kernberg thought of as malignant narcissism, it's one of the reasons they can leave you feeling so beaten down and devalued, like there's something wrong with your thinking, that you're the crazy one. There's something called gaslighting. So what do you do if you see this pattern that's malignant narcissism, that describes malignant narcissists? First, you want to be aware of the 3 stop signs, and I've already named one, and that is psychopathy, an absence of empathy, not a block, an absence of empathy, an inability to empathize, no matter what the circumstances. Although people who are highly psychopathic can act as if they're empathic, they can often play act and speak. This is called cognitive empathy. They can speak as though they're empathic, but you don't get the sense that they feel it. So psychopathy, Denial, denying that they have even the slightest problem. Everybody's got problems. If you're with somebody who's saying, I don't have any problems, there's already trouble, and certainly nothing is going to change. And then abuse. It doesn't really matter what causes the abuse. If you are being abused, whether it's psychologically and verbally, being name-called, put down, or being convinced that there's something wrong with your thinking, if you're being hit or slapped. So if you see abuse, psychopathy, denial, these are reasons to seek help leaving a relationship. So that's the first thing that you need to do if you suspect signs of malignant narcissism. The second thing that you want to do, and I've talked about this previously, is make sure that you do not get isolated. You want to be able to talk about this. Often people are very embarrassed to talk about what they're going through when they're having these kinds of experiences with someone who is so narcissistic that they are best characterized as malignant. But you do not want to get isolated, because that is your key to recognizing what is real and what is not, and that your feelings are valid. And that brings us to the third important factor here. You need supports. You need professional supports. If what I've described to you feels familiar in any way, you want to get an individual therapist so that you can talk about what you're going through, not only because it helps you feel, okay, my reality is intact, I am seeing things as they are, but also because it gives you the emotional support that you need to have that clarity, so that if you're having trouble seeing where the problem is, that is in the relationship or in the person who's treating you or mistreating you, I should say, the way they are, that this will help you become clear. So that is malignant narcissism. That is what who malignant narcissists are, and those are three ways that I hope that you can hold on to of coping when you see this pattern. So again, I'm Dr. Craig Malkin. I'm the author of Rethinking Narcissism. If you find this helpful, this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave comments, leave questions. I can get quite flooded, but I always respond in some way. I'm responding to previous questions with this video. So don't be surprised if your question winds up answered in a video. So again, I hope you'll join me for the next video, and thanks for watching me again.